And I'm excited. For the first time in over a year, I can officially welcome back Centerstone to the show. Good to see both of you today.
Good morning.
Well, and I'm so excited to continue our conversations really on substance use disorder treatment and all of the great services that Centerstone provides throughout our state. And, you know, just diving right back into this, welcome back. And how has the time been since I last saw both of you?
Busy, very, very, very busy.
Well, and
sure.
And it's Anne, correct? Is it Anne?
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure because I thought I did this last time and I botched it, and I wanted to make sure I started off strong, Anne. And you are the CEO of Centerstone, Arron, along with Centerstone as well, and a new role, correct, Arron?
Yes, that's correct. I actually am now the marketing and community relations manager.
How's everything been with that new title?
Been busy. We're doing a lot this year.
You are doing a lot, and we're going to be talking about some of the new additions and also some of the different topics we'll be discussing all the next couple of months. And with that being said, let's just dive right into the Little Red Pantry. So
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. There's a delay on my end, Arron. I'm messing you up. But with the Little Red Pantry, what inspired this?
So basically, I guess back in 2020, we had an overwhelming need from the community to basically just be able to serve our communities with food. We had people who were actually coming into our office and trying to get food. So it was a collective idea between our clients, staff, and some other people to make this happen.
Really unique. And, you know, as you see this collaborative effort, you know, in your position, what's it like just to see, you know, the community, the team, and folks rallying around this really great idea?
I think it's beautiful because the Alton High construction trades class took it on and they built it for us. And we had a ceremony on one of the most awful, right, Arron, miserable days in February.
It was brutal.
It was sleeting and raining, and yet so many community partners came out and they brought food for the pantry, and the class that built it came. And so it just really, you know, it shows how a community comes together to help people who need our help, right? And so to me, it was a perfect demonstration of what a community-based organization should do.
And, you know,
it's great.
Well, and, you know, you hit it on the head there, and because when you have students and you have, you know, community leaders and you have everyday citizens of a community, a town, a region coming by, it's got to make you guys more motivated than ever, really, to achieve these missions and achieve these next goals for Centerstone.
Oh, absolutely. And it's great to hear people are coming by and dropping things off. You know, they either put them directly in the pantry or they can come right to the front desk. You know, or if it's somebody who might like be mobility impaired or an older, you know, person, they could give us a call ahead of time. Someone will come out and meet you and, you know, accept the donation. It's just so helpful. And really just the variety of things that people can donate. I mean, it's not just about food, personal hygiene items, toothbrushes, you know, the warmer pads, bottles of water, anything really that you could think of is amazing. And it would be such a great opportunity. And you can just drop by and drop it off, or you can put it in the pantry yourself. It's an awesome thing.
And if we can discuss, what is this? Who does this pantry serve? In case someone's, you know, watching this today on their phone, or maybe they're getting told about it by a friend or a loved one. You know, who fits the criteria for this pantry, if you don't mind me asking?
Hey, Arron, you want to take that one?
So honestly, I mean, we're trying to serve everybody in the community, anybody who is needing help with any type of food insecurities or just needing any of the items that are in the pantry, they're available to come get it. So we're not going to, you know, say like, you can't come get something. If you need it, please come get it. Help yourself. It is there to help the community.
And Arron, this goes hand in hand with what, as Centerstone and Anne, that we talked about last year, is that, you know, especially on that substance use disorder side, there's no prejudice from that substance use disorder, you know, and no matter if you're a CEO of a Fortune 500 or you're a fry cook at a fast food chain, it can still affect you. And just like poverty can, and someone loses their job that might have had a great salary and something happens. And I think it's great that you leave that open for folks that really just need it when they need it the most. And I think there's a issue with your audio here.
Oh, sorry. It could be one of our, is this any better?
Yep, that's perfect. Sorry.
Okay. It could be one of our employees, or it could be a nearby employee. Sometimes, making it to payday. I remember I was a single mom. It can be tough, right? So anybody's welcome to come and use it.
What impacts have you all seen so far or heard of? If you could share those with me. Have there been a couple of conversations or just a couple of things that you've heard about through this pantry and some of the good work that's already been achieved?
Well, we got a lot of donations the day that we did the opening, and I can tell you they're all gone. Everything has been taken. I mean, we had pretty much like a whole room full of different snacks and food and non-perishable items, and it's gone. And so I know it's being used, right? And while we're talking about this, I want to give a shout out to our staff team that worked on this. It was a group of people who came together. Christy Whitehall, our director of customer care, and then also some of the directors of our services like Brittany McCready and some of her therapists. This was all their idea. They took this on and they made it happen, and just so proud that they had that thought and executed on it and really came together with the community. I mean, it was Jennifer Schultz, our other marketing person in Alton. She was part of it. So yeah, well, and that's really something that came naturally.
Well, and Anne, I think that goes above and beyond what, the segment is about today, because it shows that Centerstone really recognizes all the people that do contribute. And in so many companies, you see maybe the manager or maybe the lead on a department, fall in line with the credit that maybe an employee or someone that maybe works just under them came up with. And to hear that you're showcasing that this was a collaborative effort, a team effort, and then showcasing those individuals, I think it's a testament to what Centerstone's all about too.
Well, and let's not leave Arron out. Arron, there was a great video. I think, did you do that video on Facebook? It was awesome. Just showing when it got delivered and installed. It was very moving.
It shows the passion though, and that everyone has. Like, Arron, when we were talking in December about some of this stuff and just hearing, all the work that's going on, and you're going and driving and meeting with all these communities, and you're seeing the office workers and the therapists, the counselors that are doing their part. It's this community that, and I can only imagine how exciting it is to come to work.
Yep, it's kept me here for a long time, that's for sure. Before we merged with Centerstone, I've been with the organization 22 years. So yeah, wow. And there's a lot of longevity at Centerstone. I think we're all very connected to our noble purpose. So thanks for recognizing that.
Well, you hit on something though that I think is even more important, and that's the fact that all the initial inventory is gone. And, that is great in the sense of it serves a purpose. That's a great purpose, but it also is an alarming thing as well. And it shows that just how needed something like this is. And when it comes to keeping this pantry stocked, keeping it operational, is it just the inventory that's the biggest challenge? Are there any other challenges that are in the way of maybe a more fully stocked all the time pantry?
I mean, I think we probably just need to get the word out more. Okay. And I know Lauren's been working on that in different ways. And then just actually, knowing that it's empty and getting it stocked really are the two big ones. And I think we really have to rely on some of our community partners. Yep. And I know a lot of our staff bring stuff in all the time. So anything anybody can do to help, including, if you don't want to go shopping or drop off a bag, you can go to our webpage and make a contribution and we'll buy it.
Absolutely.
Make it happen. Yeah.
I will say too, I didn't know this, but the day that we had the unveiling, one of our employees had already set up with Panera that any of the leftover from Panera was actually getting put in there because food was going so quickly that it's not just sitting in there and like getting stale or anything. I mean, as soon as it goes in, it's out the door.
And it's one of those things that goes back to it, just the need, and the fact that if it's going out that quick, especially if we have the ability to help out a little bit, if you're a restaurant out there, like you said, Arron, if you're a Panera or if you're a local restaurant that has all this leftover stuff, don't trash it, give it to Centerstone and give it to people that really do need it. I love this.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
So we kind of talked about how individuals and businesses can contribute, but is there a phone number? Like if I buy some items or if I have a question about what you're looking for in terms of what goes in your pantry? Is there a number to call? Is there an FAQ on your website? How can individuals and businesses alike contribute to this?
I'll let Aaron answer that one.
So honestly, I mean, you can get in touch with either like Chrissy Waddell or Brittany McCready,
Okay.
and we can share those emails so that they can be posted. And those individuals are really kind of the driving factors behind the pantry. So they would be more of the people who would have the best answers for that.
Okay. Hey, Ann, just real quick. Sorry. The microphone issue a little bit again. I
don't know what's going on.
Now we got you.
Okay. Well, Jennifer Schultz is our marketing rep in Alton, and she could also help. If you call our main number, what's our main number, and ask for her, she can help with that as well.
And we'll link that in the write-up. I just wanted to make sure we got all of the details out on that so we can really help and keep this going for years, because this is just incredible. In the freezing sleet and rain, the high school students go out there and how long did it take to build this, Aaron, and do we know the process or how long that took?
I really don't know. I think it was a month long at least. Plus all of the navigating, talking to them, and somebody must have had a connection with the Alton High and with the teachers there, and they were so proud to be there that day. It was very cool to see them there. I was so grateful they were there.
Well, it goes a bit further too. You're getting individuals at a young age to invest in their community, because when you're doing these projects, you're realizing that you're a part of something that's good in the community, the greater good, and it gets younger people wanting to stay here a little bit more. And I think that goes above and beyond, really do. Beyond the pantry, what other ways, and we've talked about them last year, but is Centerstone involved in supporting the community? I know there's a plethora of different programs and opportunity, but if we want to touch on those a little bit, I think that'd be great too.
Sure. Centerstone provides a whole array of services for people with behavioral health challenges, and those could be, the challenge of addiction, or it could be a mental health challenge. It could be a lifelong mental health challenge, or it could just be situational, a divorce, a death, grieving. So we offer a whole host of services, probably too many to list, like counseling, care management, medication, child and family supports. We offer services in our offices, and we also offer them in communities. We have services that probably, unless you need them, you're not aware of. Right. So one of those might be our Pathways to Success program. And that is a program that is really designed for children who are experiencing what's called like a serious emotional disturbance and their families. These are children and youth who may have had repeat psychiatric hospitalizations or psychiatric crises where they've been in the emergency room. And so we have an entire team of people, and we work across many counties in Southern Illinois. We reach out to the families, and we try to help them mobilize their community around them to provide supports, because as you can imagine, when you have a youth or a child who has a serious emotional disturbance, it can be, it's a big family systems issue, and families need a lot of support. And we help them find and identify positive supports in their communities, and also link them to needed services, whether those are with us at Centerstone or somewhere else. Yeah. I think it's a really unique program. It's just started like a little over a year ago, and it's really very, very needed. And it's helping to keep those children and their families out of psychiatric hospitals, out of the emergency rooms, and really focus on building the strengths they need to manage, the issues that they're dealing with. And I think another little known service that we offer is military services. Centerstone has a national reputation for providing services to military members, veterans, and their families. We have a whole a nationwide network of therapists who are, have military experience. They talk the language, they know the culture. Really, just another unique benefit that we offer to all of our communities, really, through Centerstone, is those services. We're one of the only organizations nationally that offers those, and we work really closely with Wounded Warrior. Mm-hmm. And we offer, our therapists participate in like family retreats with Wounded Warrior and offer a variety of services to them.
And
So-
and see, that's where I think this is why I love Centerstone so much. It's, things like that not a lot of people want to touch. And because some people are maybe not, I don't want to use the word scared or maybe intimidated by it, but there's so much complexities to, I'm sure, those services that it takes a very dedicated and very knowledge team, an experienced team, to really put those practices together. And, I got to ask you, going back to this family dynamic, I mean, that to me is so important, because if you don't address the family dynamic at a young age with children, it sets up, and we've talked about this on the show with Centerstone before, this life of potential hazards that are in the way. And how has this been so far? Have there been any changes or updates to this program, or how did this truly develop? Because I just find this so valuable for the audience to hear about, that and the veteran service.
Well, thank you. It's a partnership with the state of Illinois. This is a new program that they created basically, and we really have been leaning into it across Southern Illinois and partnering with them, giving feedback on what's working, what's not working. And actually, it's worked really well. For example, I know we offer this also in the Carbondale area, and we have a relationship with a riding stable there for therapeutic recreation, right?
Wow.
So it's a really cool partnership that actually came from, I think, one of our events, Life Story, where they had a booth there. And we talked, I think Aaron talked, or somebody talked with the lady that owned the stable, and we were like, hey, we have this program. We need to find positive community supports for children. Is this something that and their families? And so horseback riding, that's a great family activity. It's positive, that they can bond together and develop expertise. And I'm sure we have similar things in the Alton area as well. Art is another outlet, obviously,
Yes.
for children and families, and things that they can do together. So building those positive experiences, developing strengths, I think has really been remarkable. And we have a lot of different community partners who help us to deliver that. Another area is really like respite care, so the mom and dad can get out and go shopping, or,
Right.
have a day where they go on a date. I believe a number of the youth that we serve have some form of Asperger's or autism too, right? And so helping the family learn behavioral strategies to cope with that has also been an important part.
This is just so incredible. And Aaron, when you're in your role, how is the difficulty finding out which of the many different programs and services to talk about in that given day? Because there's so many, and I don't mean that as a patronizing comment. I mean it as, is it just finding the right service for that community? Is it just, what goes into your role when you're talking with communities about the services and marketing Centerstone? Because there's just so much.
We do have a lot, and honestly, it's not hard. Each community by itself is its own entity.
Right.
Marion, Alton, Carbondale, those areas are all a little bit different. Really just with going out and doing the marketing, we're honestly just want to be boots on the ground and just letting people know that we have these services, and we're actually doing a very good job of that this year. We're going to get out and do several pop-ups between the South and then also in the Metro East area. This year, we're also looking to host 3 resource fairs between the Metro East area and then the South. News today, we are actually partnering with the Gateway Grizzlies, and then on May 28th we're going to have a mental health awareness evening at the stadium.
Wonderful.
Life Story.
Yeah, I'll clap for that one too. That's a great thing.
So yeah, we have a lot going on. So there's a lot of opportunities for our communities to get information. But there's also a lot of opportunity for our community partners that we already partner with, and community partners we may not have partnered with in the past, to be able to come and do a lot of these events with us.
I also hear there's a lot of opportunity to work with Centerstone.
Yeah.
You betcha.
Aaron, fill me in. Centerstone's currently hiring, and I got to ask, what roles are available?
We got a lot. We have jobs for people who've graduated from high school. We have jobs for people who have associate's degrees. We have jobs for people with lived experience, whether, like a family member has had a mental health challenge or a substance use challenge. We call those folks people with lived experience. We need a lot of them. That's really important to us. We have customer experience jobs, care management jobs. I was looking at our website, a research coordinator, and we're looking for interns from all disciplines to do a variety of different things with us. And I think, really there's a lot of different opportunities depending on your interests. We have lots of different roles available. We aspire to be one of the better paying employers anywhere we are. And we have really been working on improving our wages. And we also offer, about, I would say probably 80 to 85% of our workforce is female. It's the counseling profession, the caregiving profession. It draws a lot of women. So we have a lot of unique benefits that would appeal to women. Like we offer a bonding benefit, which is 6 months, I wish, no, 6 weeks of paid leave to bond with a new child, whether that's through adoption or, if you've had a new baby. We also offer very women-centric benefits for things like fertility and menopause. And when you work for us, if you've gone to college and you have student loans, you have opportunities for loan forgiveness, a variety of opportunities for student loan forgiveness. So lots of ways, lots of great benefits, plus you're connected to a mission that we hope will really change the world.
This is incredible. I'm not trying to pay it, but this is why, I almost get teary-eyed because you go above and beyond. Centerstone's not just what the public sees. And so many times you hear of an organization that does a lot of great PR and we think that's great to let them know about your services. But when you look internal and you talk to the employees, internally, it's not the same as what the mission is on the outside. But at Centerstone, and we talked about last year just some of the support systems that the employees get at Centerstone, but also to hear a little bit more about that today, it really is this true community. And it's not one that it's like smoke and mirrors. You see us here, and then it's different when you walk inside. What you see is what you're getting. And I think that's so important to drive down in case anybody's ready to start that career today.
Thank you. Yeah, we welcome people from all fields. Just come and see what you're interested in. And, when you come into interview, talk about what your own vision is. And maybe there's some role here that, you can help us and we can help you. And
I'm glad you brought that up, Anne. I want to be a public nuisance for you.
Okay.
No, but going in a little bit further, because we are welcoming you guys back onto the show today. That's why we're going past 11 o'clock, and I don't care. I want to talk all things Centerstone and get us all excited about this because this is just truly the beginning. And Arron, and Anne too, what topics and segments can we expect to hear from in the next couple of months as we keep having these discussions about Centerstone and all the great work?
Yeah, so we've actually, I was going to say, we've got a great list of our teams that are going to be joining you for various different reasons. We have new programs, CCBHC, our R-Core group, Castle, which is our autism clinic. Like Anne talked about, our veterans group, they're going to come on and talk. Our foundation will come on and talk, and then also our talent acquisition team. So they can talk about those openings that we have. And then just kind of getting into those months that really mean something. So Autism Awareness Month, Recovery and Suicide Awareness Month, and Mental Health Awareness Month. So, we want to make sure that we're bringing light to not just our services, but letting people know that those months are going on too, and maybe help break some of the stigmatism around some of that stuff.
It's so important. And that's why I love having these conversations. And when I first started radio, they said, don't talk about anything that's controversial or anything. And I don't agree with that. I think it's how you talk about things. And I think the more that we raise awareness to issues that various regional families and individuals are going through, the more that we can truly help those people. And I think that's what Centerstone showcases, so much. And with that being said, I got to ask you this, Anne, after the 20 plus years that you said that you've been with the group, I'm sure that you've seen the evolution of mental health and mental health care, throughout the region and just throughout the country. What have you seen the last couple of years in terms of where mental health conversations, mental health education's going from here?
Wow, it's really changed. I think the pandemic really underscored how important mental health is and how everybody struggles with it up, down, at one time or another. And I think our younger generations, I'm not sure what ones, X, Y, Z, whatever, they have a completely different perspective, right? Yep. It's far more open. It's talked about a lot more. It's just not what it used to be. And people expect that their employers, right, are going to support their mental health. And that means a workplace where, the old, work 70 hours and then you can go home and still worry about if you should be working more, doesn't work anymore, right? I mean, and we're all connected. And so we all, and I think another thing that Centerstone really cares about is suicide prevention. They've built a long history, and it's hard to know when somebody is saying something as a joke or if they really mean it. Right. And so I think people realize now more than ever with the suicide epidemic among young people, how important it is to pay attention when people talk about if they're down or, and I think we're going to probably have our crisis team come and maybe talk a little bit more about that in detail. But I think paying attention to our mental health is critical for our youth, for our community. And it's real, and it used to be a no-no to talk about it. Nobody talked about it. Now I think it's far more open. I think that's a lot more healthy.
Well, Anne, I mean, we're seeing just, I talk about it on the news sometimes, very unfortunately, and there are area families that are very much affected by that. And, the more that, I hate to say this, that we can talk about those not talk about them, but talk about what led to those situations and raise awareness, hopefully we can have more conversations with our kiddos at home and make sure that everyone's doing as best as they can be.
Well, and the good news is there's treatment and it works, right? And it's just like going to the doctor for a cold. You can get medication, you can learn how to think differently. Like for PTSD, there are lots of new treatments out there that can help people overcome that. So the good news is it is treatable and you can get better and life gets better. Yeah.
100%. And, as we wrap up our initial conversation, which I wanted to make sure we gave you the full 30, we're going right to, I timed these questions out pretty good. I just got to get excited real quick. For those that maybe not are too familiar with Centerstone, even though they should be if they're in Alton, but if they're in St. Charles watching, or my buddy out in Texas, we have some international listeners now. It's pretty crazy how this show keeps going. Let's take us through what sets Centerstone apart. And because, Aaron, we talked about this and privately, but I'll say it on the air. I don't do sponsored segments like old radio, because old radio was give me your checkbook and I will give you airtime. And I can't do that. I want to make sure it's a good partnership that gets great information across. And that's why I love to have you on. But let's talk about what sets Centerstone apart.
Centerstone's vision is really to transform behavioral health care across wherever we are, and hopefully to grow our footprint. And we also know that how important science is to behavioral health care. There are treatments that have been tested. We know that they work. We know that some treatments work better than others in particular diagnoses. And so our goal is to make sure that when people come to us for care, they're going to get that treatment that works the best for them, whether it's medication or a particular type of therapy. And so really adopting the method of the science of care in all of our encounters with our clients and our patients, that's a Centerstone strength. And Centerstone is also a really big advocate nationally for behavioral health. I don't know if you're aware, but we were one of the biggest advocates for the 988 system for suicide prevention. And we've been involved, and we are looked to nationally for information and ideas on a variety of different mental health areas, working, of course, with many different partners nationally. So I think it's just our national presence and that we are recognized for our expertise.
Don't tell me I'm running out of time. I don't run out of time. But Aaron,
can we do one thing, and that's plug our event that's coming up?
We're going to get to that in a second. But I wanted to get one quick FAQ out that Aaron filled me in on in our meeting the other day, and that's whenever there's an influx of calls, you guys actually Centerstone holds the. Can we clarify that, Aaron, that we talked about with the 988 number with the phone calls, or who manages those?
So we are, I'll say, the backup to Illinois. So we're one of the groups that help answer. And I'll be honest, I'm surprised. I saw some of the numbers from the other day. So in October of 2024, I believe that's when we started taking calls. The calls in Illinois coming in were running about 15,000, and their answer rate was right around 50%. And when we came on and started in October, that rate of answering went from 50% up to 90%.
That's incredible.
80%'s the threshold. So, I mean, we helped push them through getting past that threshold. But out of those 15,000 calls that are being answered or that are coming in, we're fielding roughly about 7,500 of those calls.
Wow. And to me, that number is just staggering, because that's not, when you say 15,000, those are 15,000 that are in, I mean, if you're calling 988, there's a reason to, and, or there's something going on. And to know, just to hear that in 1 month, it just shows the need for what you guys are doing. And I think it's just so important. And Anne, we got to talk about this event. I want to wrap up on a good note, on a very positive note. Fill me in on what's coming down the pipeline, Anne.
We're doing at the Alton VFW, I believe it's April 6th, right? At 6 p.m. We're doing Glow Bingo, which is quite an experience. I've never done it myself, but I hear it's not your grandma's bingo.
It is totally not. I have been a part of a Glow Bingo or two. I don't have any trolls yet.
Okay.
You sit them on the...
$25 a ticket. All of the proceeds from the event will benefit Centerstone Services. So come out, bring your friends, bring your snacks, have a great time with us at the VFW.
And what day was that? April 6th?
Is that right, Aaron? Did I get that right? I'm pretty sure you did.
I'm pulling it up. While I'm looking that up, I also do want to plug in that we, with Charles Mooneyham, we're also going to be having an art show on the 28th and 29th of this month. It will be at the Milton Schoolhouse.
Milton Schoolhouse, yep.
Yep. So the 29th and 30th of this month will be that event. And then for Glow Bingo, it is the 12th of April.
Oh, okay. April 12th. And you said 12. I heard you. It wasn't. It
was a multiple of 12. I'm sorry, I got this wrong.
Hey, you just didn't you didn't simplify it yet. Is that what we call that when you?
I apologize. Yeah.
No,
sorry.
but we'll link everything. And again, tickets are $25. How long does the event run at Glow Bingo?
I think it's like 6 to 10.
Oh,
yes.
Oh,
yep.
$25 for 4 hours of fun. Do we get to win prizes?
Yeah.
Yes.
What are you doing?
Lots of prizes.
What are you doing at home? Not you two. You guys are doing great work. What are you doing at home, listener? You got to get your $25 tickets to Glow Bingo at the VFW, Post 1308 in Alton on Albee Street.
Yep.
And how do we get our tickets?
www.centerstone.org/Glow Bingo.
Really cool. And Aaron, let's talk about that art exhibit, correct? Coming down the pipeline March 28th and 29th?
29th and 30th.
Oh, God.
So it is the Alton Art Expo. And again, that is through the Milton Schoolhouse in conjunction with Charles Mooneyham. We have posted a few things. I do apologize. I don't have that information pulled up in front of me. But on the 29th, from 12 to 7 p.m. at the Milton Schoolhouse, which the address is 1320 Milton Road in Alton, will be the first day. And then from 12 to 5 on the 30th will be our second day. There's going to be several nationally known artists that will be there and selling off work. There will be donations that will come back to us. They are still looking for vendors. So if you are any type of mental health advocate, let Charles know and he will get you fit in so that you can be there and showcase what you do also.
Really great. And seriously, guys, thank you so much for coming back on to the show. I'm glad to have Centerstone back on as we fill everybody in on the wonderful work you're doing. We'll link everything that we discussed in an article on RiverBender.com. Aaron, great to have you back via Zoom. And Anne, great to see you again and having you back on the show.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
No problem. I am out of time today, but I will see you all back here tomorrow for Thursday, more of our daily show. Then go inside. It's not a good day out there. Put out an umbrella. Go turn on SpongeBob or Judge Judy. Have a good old day. And as always, just try your best to stay out of jail.